Good morning and welcome back to another video. I'm so happy to have you here again today. So today's video is a little bit special. I hope I don't have lipstick on my teeth. Today's video is a little bit special because this is something that I experienced this week that I felt Holy Spirit tell me, let's share this to the person who needs to see this on the other side of the screen. So it's two things. I'm going to be pre-pooing my hair because, oh girl, she needs some moisture and she needs to be detangled. And there's a story behind that. And the reason why I'm actually going to be showing you guys and filming and talking you through that story time of what happened to me this week that I felt like was a serious direct encounter that God needed me to have. I'm also going to be showing you how to make some flaxseed gel. This is what I'm going to be using to pre-poo my hair. So that's going to be the content of this video. If you'd like to stick around, I would love that. Let's spend some time together. Before I forget, you guys, look at Monica. This girl just sprouted a new leaf, and I've never had a birds of paradise tree before, so I wasn't sure whether she was supposed to grow out a little bit more before she unraveled, but hey, I am enjoying the fruits of her labor. Look at it. It's so beautiful, and the details. I love how light she is, and then obviously she'll turn into a darker green. And then her other one is growing steadily, which is so nice to see. It hasn't unraveled yet, so I think it might get a bit taller before it unravels. I think plants are so amazing because, like, how do you know how far you need to grow? How do you know that? So I'm going to church right now. After church, I'm going to meet up with my mom, and then I'm going to go purchase the flax seeds, and then I'm going to come home and make the flaxseed gel. A little bit of a chill but packed day, so let's get going. Okay guys, it's windy, but church was awesome. As always, great message. I am now going to be heading to Bulk Barn to go pick up the flax seeds. So I don't know if it's appropriate for me to do a mini haul, but here we are. I'm back from Bulk Barn. I got two things. I got the flax seeds, obviously. They are, look at them, such interesting things. And then the other thing that I got was actually soap. I use bar soap to shower. This is calendula and cucumber, and it smells amazing. I can't get over the smell of this. I've tried the other ones at Bulk Barn, and I haven't quite found one that I really like. I tried the olive oil one. After a while, I don't like the way it smells. This one is the only one that I found that still smells really fresh throughout the whole time I'm using it. So yeah, something that I recently discovered lately is finding your true voice. I don't know if you guys have seen this pop up on your TikTok, Instagram, feed, whatever, but people are saying the voice that you speak with isn't actually your true voice, and your true voice could sometimes be at a lower octave. Weird, but I want to try it because I noticed that every single time I pick up the camera, I'm being myself, I'm genuinely just relaxing and chilling, but I find that my voice always goes up an octave. I don't know, and then sometimes I find that I'm straining my voice, so I have to clear my throat a lot. So I want to try it to see if there's a difference when I play this back to see if I am speaking at a lower octave or if I feel that right now I feel like I'm still straining my voice. So We're gonna all take a deep breath in. Do it with me. Relax your body. Relax your shoulders. And I'm gonna just relax and speak from my chest and to the middle of my throat, where it feels the most comfortable and the least strenuous. One more breath. Exhale. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. And this is where I'm at. This is what feels comfortable. I feel like I have to keep reminding myself to relax and speak slowly. Can you guys tell the difference between this voice that I'm speaking with compared to the other voice that I was speaking with? And I'm gonna keep taking a breath every single time I feel like I'm tightening up again. Yeah, this feels more relaxed. That's insane. I feel like because my body is so used to speaking at such a strained state, I can feel myself getting back up there. Right now, I am. Do you see? This is the voice that I normally talk with. I'm straining, but when I relax, naturally my tone comes down. Anyways, I've been experimenting with this quite a bit. And then another thing that I found was when I was washing dishes last night, just thinking about relaxing and getting back to my true voice, I found that I tense up when I'm washing dishes. Like I squeeze my butt really tight, and I don't notice I'm doing it until I tell my body to relax, and then I can feel all the muscles and the tightness relax. I encourage you guys to try this. If you're washing dishes, just do a mental reminder to say relax and feel where the tightness is at. That's where you're storing a lot of energy, a lot of tension, a lot of trauma. This is the part of the video where I tell you about the story time of why I'm making this specific video in the first place. So this all kind of started, I've been meaning to make flaxseed gel for a hot minute, and every single time I go grocery shopping, I would always forget to go to Bulk Barn. It's been like months. So anyways, the night before the incident that I mentioned earlier in the video about I felt that this was God directly I'm encountering an experience that God wanted me to have. So the night before, I was freaking out about what I wanted to do with my hair because it's not today's wash day. And so I was like, oh gosh, it's so dry, but I have the type of hair, it's a type 4C maybe, I don't know, type 4 hair. And it's a type of hair that it needs a lot of water for it to feel, you know, like moisturized, drenched, and I'm in a place where I don't want to get my hair wet right now. It's a whole thing. I'm going through a mental readjustment of my hair. So I have a leave-in conditioner. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just put a little bit of water in it so it has some moisture, and then put the leave-in conditioner, comb it out, detangle it. I did a flat twist on my hair and then bantu knot at the ends just to give it a little bit of texture and curl when I wake up the next morning. So it was late in the night and I did that, and I just did it because I was going back to work and I didn't want to look like I didn't put in any effort, because genuinely I want to put in effort into showing up for my life. So I did that. Against all odds, I went to bed late, whatever. So the next day, I'm listening to a podcast called The Fruitful Feminine, and it was the podcast about something about your purpose, how your past clues are linked to your purpose. I was like, yeah, I need that. Because, you know, we're all still trying to figure out what our purpose is. And I feel like every single encounter, every single day and experiences that we have are all leading and guiding us to that very purpose. So anyways, I was listening to that podcast, and I think I got maybe 2 minutes into the podcast. I get off at one of the major intersection or major train stations, and I feel somebody tap me on like my back, and I had my headphones in, so I was like, oh, whoa. So I turn around and I see this lovely lady. She's like, what can I do to my hair? Like, she was wearing a hoodie, so I didn't know what her hair looks like. She's like, she just looked at me, and it was so innocent. Like, I'm typically pretty approachable, but you know, when you have your headphones in and you're trying to get to places, I feel like we're not as patient typically in those moments with people. So she's like, what can I do to my hair? It's in knots right now, and I don't know how to get rid of the knots. What should I do? And I was like, oh, and the first thing that came to mind was flaxseed gel. I was like, yeah, you can use flaxseed gel. It's so easy to make. You just need water and flax seeds. And I told her you can get flax seeds at Bulk Barn. Look up a flaxseed gel recipe. It's so easy to make. And I was like, if you don't have that, or if you don't want to go through all that trouble, you can also use like a leave-in conditioner or a deep conditioner and slowly work out the knots using like a comb. And so that's what I told her. And then through that, she just opened up to me. And I know that was not me. Like, I know that was Holy Spirit, because first of all, I was asking, like, yeah, I want to know what my purpose is. What is my purpose? I thought that my purpose was to be a teacher, and not in the sense like teaching little kids, but teaching people something. Only because I'm digressing for a second here. When I was little, my mom would always tell me that I used to go to like school, preschool, and then I would come home and I'd have all of them sit down, and then I'd be like at the board trying to teach them what I learned, and I took it so seriously. So that really stuck with me. And so I've always had this thing in the back of my mind, like, am I supposed to be a teacher? What kind of teacher? And then I remember in high school, I had a different teacher, like an actual teacher. Not my teacher. I didn't have any of her classes, but she told me that I can see you being a teacher. And I don't know why I took offense to that at the time, but yeah, I don't know. But now I just see these little strings of things, you know, coming from my past to my future that reveals your purpose. And it's so funny because when I was listening to the podcast, I didn't even get into like the nitty-gritty, the juicy part of the podcast, and all of that happened. Anyways, back to the main story. So I told her what she could do, and then she opened up to me, and she's like, you know what, I just got out of the shelter. I just got my own place. I was in there for 4 years, and I thank God that I'm now out. I have my own place. And she was telling me that a friend of hers like set her up with a job, so she's gonna go to the interview right now. And it's so crazy how God works, because sometimes not everybody opens up as easily like that. I'm not that type of person to open up easily. I'm not a very like open up easily kind of person. I just said that twice. Okay, moving on. So I just thought it was so incredible that she opened, and I was so proud of her. There was just a genuine like proud, like I just felt very proud of her. And I was going back and forth on whether I wanted to share the story or not. And I just knew that these are things that Holy Spirit will place on your heart, and that you just have to do it. So I happen to also have experience being in a shelter before. And it wasn't a good experience. The reason why I ended up there was because I was in a really bad and toxic relationship, and at the time I wasn't on good terms with my family. So I felt like my only other option was to go to a shelter, and I ran there really as fast as I could. So I was in a shelter. I wasn't there for very long. I truly believe that God was with me through that, because that was not where he needed me to be, or I was meant to be. I moved through that very quickly, that phase. I don't think it even lasted like 6 months. I don't know. I don't think so. It was very fast. Like, I transitioned out of there very, very quickly, because I knew in my heart, this is not where I belong. This is not where I'm meant to be. It's just temporary because of the situation that I'm in. So when she told me that she, has been in the shelter for 4 years, and she's finally got her own place, and she's out, and it's so crazy because she was talking about God throughout this whole thing, and I'm like, this is my sister in Christ. It's incredible. She told me that she was Ethiopian Orthodox Jewish. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. These titles really don't matter, because at the end of the day, it's all God that we're giving praise and glory to. And because she was talking about God, I felt a stronger connection with her, because I had gone through something similar. Of course, not to the length that she has experienced it in, but still there was a connection there, and I just felt so proud of her, genuinely. And I'm not a hugger. Like, I'm not typically the one to reach out first to give somebody a hug. If I do, it's really like I mean it. And so I hugged her. Like, I could genuinely feel this like deep connection with her, and just holding space for her to share her story with me. So we only spoke for like maybe 5-7 minutes at most, because she got off and I had to get off, and we exchanged phone numbers. Not to say that we're going to be friends or anything like that, but I think moments like that, like, it's not you. It's not about you, because I did my hair last night, the night before. God utilized me doing my hair to attract her attention so she could seek guidance to find an answer that she has been seeking from God. And I happen to know it, and I could give her the answer, and God instructed me to give her the answer. So if I hadn't done my hair that night, she probably wouldn't have spoken to me at all, and we wouldn't have had that experience at all. And the crazy thing is, we had something in common, something to touch base on. And I feel like, I could be wrong, I don't know, but this is what my heart is telling me, is that it had to be me in that time, that period, and I had to have had those experiences to relate to her in that way, but also to be able to see her as an individual, and to comfort her, and to tell her that she is doing good, and that's her God experience through me, if that makes sense. Anyways, that was the story. It was incredible, and I just felt like I had to share that. The tone of the message really is just to say that no matter your circumstances, no matter where you are at in life, no matter what you think you should be doing, you don't know what you should be doing, and if you feel a pull in your heart, take it to God. Pray about it. Sometimes that hairstyle that you're doing the night before, you don't know who it's going to affect or help out. Sometimes the smile that you give somebody, you don't know how that's going to change their life. We touch people every single day by our energy and by our presence. We never know how us showing up is changing the course of somebody's life. Literally, that's what I felt. So be a kind person. I know it's hard sometimes, because people can be difficult, and that's a reflection of us. There might be something within us that we need to work through if we're triggered by them, but be kind to people. Yes, you can have boundaries, but when you have a genuine connection with somebody, be kind, because you don't know how God is using you to reach them. And that's what I felt that was about when I had that experience with her. But also, it just felt like I had gone one step closer to figuring out what it is that I'm meant to do here on this earth. I'm still not fully, aware of it yet, but I feel closer to it. So I just felt like I had to share that video or that story with you guys, because it was so powerful and impactful to me this week. So I'm in the kitchen. I will not be showing you around because it is not exactly in the best shape. It's fine. Things are clean, but I have things soaking in the sink and dishes drying on the rack. It's a small space. Work with me, okay? So I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm doing from here. How much I don't really measure. I don't have measuring cups quite yet. I think that's the one thing I completely forgot to get. So I'm not measuring, but I will show you what I will be putting in my little stainless steel pot here. There is some water in it already, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pour the flax seed in there, and literally that's it. You're just gonna get your flax seed and water and then put it in a pot. You're gonna put it over medium heat, let it boil, and then eventually you'll start seeing the sticky gel-like substance come to the top. Once it gets to that point, you're gonna take it off, strain it, and let it cool. And then that's it. That's how you make the gel. So let's do that. The water is about, let me put this ladle down. Oh my goodness. So water is about right here, like right close to the top, but not quite, maybe right here. You want to give it a little bit of space so that when the boiling happens, it's not boiling over. So I'm going to be using this ladle, something like this as a measuring. I think I may take either 2 full of these or 2.5, maybe 2 full of these. We don't need that much. I only want to make enough for like 2 pre-poos or maybe a bit more, but just 2 of these should be plenty. I just put the 2 ladlefuls in the water, and this is how much is left. I mean, it's still quite a bit. I only paid $1.88 for this, $1.88. So, whoa, there's still quite a bit left. So that's really cool. Yeah, now I've got it over medium heat. I'm just gonna wait for it to do its magic. I will be keeping an eye on it every so often. I'll come and check and make sure that, you know, it's still doing its thing. And once it's done, I'll show you guys. Don't be grossed out. This is how it's supposed to look. It's been maybe 10-ish minutes since we've had this on, but do you see this consistency? This kind of like jelly-like consistency? This is what I want to see. So I'm actually going to take this off of the stove now. I'm going to strain it. Or what I actually typically do is I leave it and I let all the flaxseed kind of like fall to the bottom while it cools down. So yeah, this is it. This is what it looks like. I put mine in a little glass container. That's what it looks like. As you can see, all the seeds are kind of pretty much at the bottom, except for maybe the ones that got attached to the foam. But I just want to show you, that is, it kind of looks like snot. Yes, get your mind out of the gutter. But you know what it is. It's gel. This is the consistency that we're looking for. And so now that we have it, this is it. This is what we're working with. I'm going to be using this to detangle and pre-poo my hair. We have come to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate your time, your energy, and your attention. If you made it this far into the video, please leave me a purple or green heart below so I know that you're watching. Let me know what you thought about the story time, and will you be trying the flaxseed gel recipe or the flaxseed gel? I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.